Okay, so I just discovered this tool called Tempesta webshield that blocks users based on specific hashes or IPs. Isn't that wild?
Wait, really? So it uses these JA5 hashes for blocking. That's a pretty innovative approach to user management.
Right, but it gets me thinking, how effective can that really be? I mean, what if someone just changes their hash?
That's a good point. It's like playing whack-a-mole with identifiers. But the idea is to create a barrier that's harder to bypass.
True, but doesn't that assume users are going to keep trying to access the system? What about those who just give up?
Good question. The mix of persistence and tech savvy could really determine the strategy's success. It might not be foolproof.
Exactly, and think about the resources needed to maintain this. It's like a constant game of catch-up.
Right, and the requirements are pretty specific too, like needing Python 3.12 and ClickHouse. Not everyone will meet that.
So you might end up excluding potential users just because they can't meet those technical specs. That's a bit counterintuitive.
Yeah, it might limit accessibility, but maybe that's the trade-off for better security. Tough balance to strike.
Makes sense, but what if that security comes at the cost of user experience? That's a slippery slope.
Absolutely. If users find the system too complicated or inaccessible, they might just abandon it altogether.
But think about this. Could a well-implemented web shield actually improve user experience by blocking unwanted traffic?
It's possible. A cleaner experience without bots could make the site feel faster and safer. But is it worth the setup hassle?
That's the million-dollar question. Setup sounds technical, and if average users struggle, it could backfire.
True, and speaking of technicalities, the manual run process seems pretty extensive. It's not plug and play.
Yeah, setting up virtual environments and installing requirements, definitely not for the faint-hearted.
But once it's up and running, the functionality seems powerful. I mean, the ability to log and block based on access logs.
Right, and the integration with ClickHouse for storage could handle large datasets efficiently, but at what cost?
Good point. There's always the trade-off between performance and resource consumption. More features mean more demands.
Exactly, and I wonder about the testing. How do they ensure the blocking isn't too aggressive or too lenient?
The tests mentioned in the documentation are interesting, but I wonder if they cover all possible scenarios.
Right, what happens if legitimate users get blocked? That could seriously damage trust.
True, it's a balancing act. Protect the system while ensuring real users can access it without hurdles.
And we should consider how often these hashes change. If they're dynamic, that could complicate things further.
Exactly. A constantly shifting landscape could mean more maintenance. It's a lot to juggle for any team.
Speaking of maintenance, how do you think organizations handle ongoing updates and troubleshooting with this?
That's crucial. They'll need a dedicated team to monitor and adjust as threats evolve. That's a resource drain.
And what about user privacy? Blocking based on identifiable hashes raises ethical questions too.
For sure, there are always legal implications when you start tracking user behavior so closely.
And what if a user feels they've been unfairly blocked? The backlash could be significant.
That's a risk. Organizations might need clear communication strategies to handle such situations.
So the complexity of implementing something like this goes way beyond just the technical aspects.
Absolutely. It's about managing people, expectations, and technical limits all at once.
So we could say that while Tempesta Web Shield has promise, the execution might be its biggest hurdle.
Exactly. It could either be a powerful shield or a double-edged sword, depending on how it's handled.
So what's the takeaway here? Balance security needs with user experience. Sounds easier said than done.
Definitely, that balance might just be the key to effective implementation. It's a complex puzzle.
And maybe that's what organizations should focus on, finding the edge where security meets user accessibility.
Exactly. And maybe even continuously reevaluating that edge as both threats and user expectations evolve.